Hello everyone, my name is Mark Xavier Pito from class 6 Alpha. I'm studying at SK BUMIPUTERA Lundu. My school code is YBE 1401. My hobbies are reading, swimming and drawing. When I grow up, I want to be a space scientist. Today, I would like to share about one of my favorite books entitled Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor. This book was written by Rick Riordan. He is one of the authors of 4 New York Times #1 best-selling series. Rick lives in Boston, Massachusetts with his wife and 2 sons. I've read this book 5 times because I really like the plot of the story. This book also has a pronunciation for the characters' names such as Trim. We pronounce them T-H-R-I-M, Trim. This book starts with an introduction of Magnus and his friends who are Samira, Blitzen, Hearthstone and Alex. Magnus and Samira were at a cafe when a goat named Otis came at them and asked them about Thor's hammer. But they don't know anything about Thor's hammer, which made Otis confused. After that, they got out of the cafe and were surprised to see that Otis was killed by an assassin. But to their surprise, there were no one inside. Soon, they go to Valhalla to rest, when a god tasked them to go find Thor's hammer. They form a team that consists of 5 members who are Blitzen, Hearthstone, Alex, Samira, and Magnus. Firstly, they traveled to the tomb of Gelir, who are a zombie. As they asked Gelir about Thor's hammer, they were shocked to see that Gelir was not the only zombie with them. There were more zombies, which was like a soldier of some sorts. They asked the zombies if they had seen Thor's hammer, to which the zombies replied, they don't. They fought the zombie, to which Magnus won. As they got out of the tomb, they were greeted with Loki and Magnus's uncle, Randolph. Loki asked them to go to a quest to find the Skofnung sword and the Skofnung stone. Before Magnus can even reply, they disappeared into thin air. As they turned around, they were shocked to see that Blitzen was turned to stone. They hurried to Hearthstone's house. As they arrived to Hearthstone's house, Hearthstone's father didn't seem too happy with the guests and invited them inside the house rudely. As they got in, Hearthstone's father invited them to sit on the table. Then, a girl who seemed to be the waitress came at them with a tray of goblets. The goblets shocked Magnus because the water looked like gold and silver. Magnus was too scared to drink the goblets, so he left the goblets on the table. When Har's father introduced himself, he asked what were they doing inside of his house. They said they were looking away to kill Blitzen and get the Skofnung sword. Then, Mr. Abaston, who is Har's father, showed them the Skofnung sword and they asked if they can have it. Mr. Abaston said yes. After that, they go into Har's room to kill Blitzen. After they killed Blitzen, they continued their journey to the giant's side. They met Thor's wife, Sif, who prepared them for the wedding. Sif gave them a chariot which they can use for the intended place. After they arrived there, they were met with Trim's sister who guided them to the cave. As they arrived there, they saw Trim, the king of earth giants. He invited them to start the wedding ceremony. But Magnus feels something fishy. So he excused himself to check something, but found nothing. When he came back, he was shocked to see that Loki was there. They followed Trim down into the earth, where Loki, Trim, Samira and Alex would sit on a bench to start the proposal. Trim asked Samira if she would like to be his wife. There was a long silence before Samira answered with no and strangled the giant. After fighting off the other giants, Magnus sees that Trim's sister was trying to take Thor's hammer. She was stopped quickly by Alex. Magnus and his friends were losing the battle. But, luckily, Thor and several other gods joined the fight and kills the giant easily. Magnus realized that Loki was missing after the battle. As they reach Valhalla and celebrates their return, Magnus was still curious about Loki's missing. The gods promised that they will find him and return him to his cage. I learned the value of teamwork in this story. Without teamwork, you cannot complete your mission successfully. It is important to set aside our ego and pride to achieve our goal. If you're looking for something mythology and modern world genre, go for this book. You will thank me later. Thank you.